Now on CoastTV News.
Theater talks return.
Trying to be very thoughtful about what this region is going to need.
The initiative in Rehoboth Beach to keep clear space in the city, what is getting reviewed today by the mayor and commissioners. Seasonal soaring starts, the prime spot on the Broadkill River to get a glimpse of birds making a stop on their migration.
Good Monday morning, Delmarva. Seeing some patchy fog out there this morning. Temperatures 50s and 60s. A magnificent Monday. Sunny skies. Highs around 80. But a midweek soaker. I'll have details ahead.
Curtain on country calling.
3 days of great country music. I'm loving it all.
The big weekend music event wrapped up in Ocean City last night.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And welcome to our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning. I'm Matt Pensick. Lisa Weber has the day off, and it is Monday, October 6, 2025. And we do have some foggy conditions, at least for parts of Delmarva. And to tell you all about that, here is First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono with a look at First Alert weather. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Matt. A pleasant good morning, Delmarva. Hope everyone had a wonderful weekend as we take a live look into Ocean View. 57 degrees there, dew point 55. Winds relatively calm. Not seeing much in the way of fog right there. Most of it's been confined to portions of Dorchester County. Visibility down to about a quarter mile there in Cambridge. Western portions of Sussex County also. Further the way you are from the coast this morning, seeing that fog. Cool spot, Harrington 51, Delmar 51, also down to 50 there in Salisbury, 50 in Longneck, and a little milder at the coast where we are in the upper 50s to low 60s. Clear skies. Calm winds, that's allowing for some of that fog to form across the area, but we're rain-free across much of the northeast and mid-Atlantic, all thanks to high pressure just off our coast, and that's going to keep us nice, sunny, and dry through the day today. In fact, we're going to be right up near 80 degrees, an uptick in humidity as we go into the day on Tuesday, and then a cold front will bring rain into the area on Wednesday, and then some of the coolest air we've seen so far this season rolls in Thursday through late week. So aside from that patchy fog this morning, we'll see sunshine later this afternoon. Through the morning and afternoon, temperatures right around 54 degrees to start. On our way to highs around 80 degrees. So a beautiful afternoon with that sunshine. We're up to 75 by around noon and highs topping out around 80 degrees. We'll talk more about that midweek rain coming up in my full forecast a little later on in the newscast. Matt.
All right, thank you, Chris. You were just talking about the fog. It is in play for some areas this morning, and one of those areas is right here live on your screen. This is at Salisbury University. Seeing some fog there. We are tracking the highways, and most of, again, what we're seeing is inland from the coast. And here's an example of that. Dewey Beach, this is what it looked like moments ago. No fog concerns there, and this is Route 1 and Bellevue Street. It's an area that's only a few blocks wide between the Atlantic Ocean and Rehoboth Bay. Our top story this hour is the effort in Rehoboth Beach to keep the Clear Space Theater in the city. Now, here is the location at its current spot on Baltimore Avenue. A proposed partnership between the city and the theater is up for review today, and this includes a new location at the current Cape Henlopen Senior Center. Clear Space would lease the land for $1, yes, $1 a year. Rehoboth Beach would contribute $1 million to Clear Space's capital campaign, and they would waive permit fees. The city would get revenue through ticket fees and parking. For those who are not familiar where the Cape Henlopen Senior Center is, we have a map of the location. This lies between Christian Street on the avenue and Philadelphia Street. Senior Center already has plans to move out of the town to Hebron Road. In April, we spoke with Clear Space about their plans then to move to Lewis.
Trying to be very thoughtful about what this region is going to need, not just tomorrow or in 5 years, but in 25 or 35 years. Because what we build, we're going to build to be sustainable for the long term.
Rehoboth Beach Mayor Stan Mills and City Commissioners, they're meeting in just a few hours at 9 a.m. to discuss this and other topics. Things to know, this new partnership comes just a few years after Clear Space tried to build a new theater on Rehoboth Avenue. And that was a 4-year back and forth over city approvals, denials, reversals of decisions. Clear Space even filed a lawsuit that was eventually dropped, as were plans for the new theater on the avenue. That lot now becoming mixed-use buildings, and we have a whole lot on this article on the proposal for the Clear Space. It's right now on CoastTV.com. Also happening today in Rehoboth Beach, the city is expected to review a $21.3 million bid for improvements to the wastewater treatment plant. It's in the final phase of what's been a multi-year upgrade process that's expected to last almost 15 years before more work is needed. Sussex County will cover 2/3 of the cost based on wastewater flows. City officials say sewer rates may increase to cover these costs. In Milton tonight, future makeup of the town council could change. That is what it's getting a look at. Mayor John Collier and 6 council members are expected to review a presentation on creating town council districts. Now, most southern Delaware communities do not have this type of structure. Milford is an exception. They have 4 wards. A vote on new districts could happen at the 6:30 p.m. Milton Town Council meeting. Happening in Ocean City, they could move forward with several projects after a second reading of an ordinance tonight. That includes a 14th Street generator for the water department and fleet and garage renovations. There's also a boardwalk sign involved. Second reading of the ordinance is scheduled for the mayor and council meeting at 6 p.m. with the general obligation municipal purpose bonds not to exceed $52 million. Now taking a live look at the beach in Ocean City. Locals and visitors preparing to leave the area this morning after the Country Calling Music Festival. It was a festival that brought together to the beach to hear country music all weekend long. Headliners included Carrie Underwood, Luke Bryan, and Luke Combs. And one festival goer says he enjoyed hearing new artists this weekend.
3 days of great country music. I'm loving it all. I've been very impressed by the talent that they have brought in here. Some guys that I've never heard of that I will definitely be downloading some of their songs.
It's estimated that the 3-day event generated around $150 million for the town. New this morning, as the weather cools down, bird migration begins. The McKay Preserve, it's just outside of Milton, and it is where many watchers go to see the shorebirds and songbirds move to their next destination. The preserve says that over 100 bird species get observed in its 143 acres.
McKay Preserve is a local birding hotspot and a great place to come observe fall migration. We have a high diversity of bird species that utilize this preserve because we have a lot of different habitat types occurring here.
Approximately 1 mile, the Broad Kill River borders the preserve. It makes it a popular hotspot also for canoers and kayakers. Rehoboth Beach police are continuing to investigate the cause of this fire on Sunday. Firefighters say it happened in the Bay Vista neighborhood. The Rehoboth Beach Volunteer Fire Company says around 5:30 p.m. they arrived to this mobile home. You can see it was engulfed in flames. That structure, that's a total loss. Firefighters say the man who lived there got out. No one was hurt, but some neighboring structures were damaged. We're now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. The blame game over the government shutdown. It took center stage on the Sunday shows, leaders pointing fingers at each other as negotiations have stalled. And new overnight, this as many federal workers face losing their jobs as the shutdown continues. NBC's Alice Barr shows us the reaction to this and also how several governors are pushing back against possible National Guard deployments in their states.
President Trump's push to send National Guard troops into more American cities facing new pushback. In Portland, Oregon overnight, where protests are underway, a federal judge blocked the Trump administration's move to send National Guard troops from California or any other state into the city. California's governor celebrating the order, writing, quote, Trump's abuse of power won't stand. That follows a separate ruling blocking the deployment of 200 Oregon National Guard soldiers to Portland.
I appointed the judge and he goes like that, so I wasn't served well. Portland is burning to the ground.
Portland police say the protests there have been contained to a single block. While in Chicago, the Trump administration ordering 300 National Guard troops into the city, making good on weeks of threats over the Illinois governor's objections.
They want to create the war zone so that they can send in even more troops.
Republican leaders rejecting that.
Less military, Mr.
I don't think
Speaker.
you should ask the governor. I think you should ask the citizens who are in fear for their lives and livelihoods in these cities.
Citing recent attacks on ICE officers, including this, the Department of Homeland Security says happened Saturday in Chicago, a black SUV repeatedly slamming a truck with ICE agents inside, all as the federal government shutdown stretches into its 6th day, with President Trump warning mass layoffs of federal workers are coming.
I call them Democrat layoffs.
We tried to get President Trump to sit down with us weeks ago.
Negotiations at a standstill with military service members among the thousands working without pay. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And this just in, slowing down in Selbyville. Later today, the town council will discuss a number of issues, and one of those is speed limits. According to the agenda, they will consider setting the limit for all developments. This is taking place tonight at 6 p.m. at the Selbyville Town Hall. Happening tonight, it's Game 2 of the National League Divisional Series. Phillies will attempt to even the best-of-5 affair against the Dodgers. Phillies could not build upon a 3-0 lead on Saturday in losing Game 1. First pitch at the park is scheduled for 6:08. And we're just getting started in this hour on Coast TV News Today. Coming up, Coastal Project Showcase. We've got some new tools that are helping experts analyze and protect our environment. Also, Land Use Group gathers results. So, tell you how some of the changes locals are recommending to Sussex County Council after a months-long research. And USPS holiday hike. What products at the post office you can expect to cost more. That and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
Good Monday morning, Delmarva. We had some spectacular weather this past weekend with temperatures in the upper 70s as we await the sunrise here in Lewis coming up at 7:02 this morning. 53 degrees there. Winds are relatively calm. You can see some fog well away from the coast, especially in across portions of Dorchester County, and we'll continue to see that fog at least through the next hour or two. We're at 55 in Milton, 53 Georgetown, we're at 63 Indian River Inlet, and 60 in Rehoboth. There's that high pressure system that's kept us sunny and dry over the weekend, and we're going to see plenty of sunshine once we shed this fog this morning. Temperatures are going to generally be in the mid to upper 70s under mostly sunny skies. Well, we have the harvest moon tonight, and this is the first of 3 supermoons that we're going to see to round out 2025. So pretty cool there. The moon is going to be brighter and bigger in appearance. And this moon was given because the farmers use the moon to harvest their crops in the wee hours of the morning. We'll talk more about the rain ahead midweek and then a big late week cool down. We'll talk about that here in minutes. Matt.
Okay, Chris. On your screen right now is the intersection of Deer Forest Road and Macaulay's Chapel Road in Georgetown. It's currently a two-way stop, but according to DelDOT, not for long. The department says it's converting it to an all-way stop, and DelDOT says work is scheduled to start tomorrow, October 7th. Delaware DMV says you don't have to go to a big building for everything you need. The DMV on-the-go trailer has a number of services like address changes and completing title work, and they're available from 10 to 2 Monday at the Lewis Transit Center, Tuesday at Milton Cheer, Thursday at Harbor Freight in Seaford. The Delaware Division of Public Health's mobile health unit is rolling into Sussex County this week, offering flu shots, testing for diabetes, and more. Unit is free. The agency says translators are also available, and the unit is at the Milford Public Library on Tuesday and the Georgetown Recovery Hub on Wednesday from 10 to 3. Sending some stuff in the mail will soon cost you a little more. Starting next week, the United States Postal Service is boosting its prices for the 2025 holiday season. Officials say these adjustments are needed to help deal with the extra handling expenses that come during this busier than usual time of year. Priority Mail Express, Priority Mail, Ground Advantage, and Parcel Select, these are all affected. Cracker Barrel confirms it has cut ties with the design firm behind its disastrous logo change. Cracker Barrel hired the San Francisco-based design firm Profit to help refresh its brand. The changes included ditching the iconic man in the overalls and the barrel itself from the logo. But they quickly reversed course following online backlash and reverted back to their previous logo.
Well, we're going to continue our beautiful stretch of weather through the day today after we shed some of this fog we're dealing with, highs around 80. And the midweek, well, we're tracking a cold front that's going to bring a round of rain into the day on Wednesday. I'll have the details on how much rain we could expect to see just after the break on Coast TV News Today.
Time is 6:18, and you are looking live at the Roosevelt Inlet in Lewis, and Christos flags on the left showing a little bit of a breeze there, and we are working on another day that will see temperatures in the 80s.
Yeah, it was a spectacular weekend, and we're going to continue that sunshine into the day today after we shed this fog we're seeing across parts of Delmarva. And yeah, it's been primarily focused inland areas, Dorchester County, western Sussex, seeing that fog in and across Salisbury. So use some caution through the morning as we take a live look into Laurel. You could see some of that fog there in the distance. Temperature there 51 degrees, so it's a cool start. Overall, not too bad. 62 Lewis, we're at 63 Indian River Inlet, 53 Ocean Pines, and we are at 53 in Millsboro. There's those winds, pretty calm, but you can see the flow, though, is out of the south-southwest. So that's going to open the door for some more humidity to work in, especially as we get into the day on Tuesday. And then we plummet as far as the humidity is concerned. Very dry as we approach the latter part of the week. In fact, maybe some of the coldest air we've seen so far this fall. We've been under the influence of high pressure. You can see this big dome of high pressure. Cold front across portions of Wisconsin, Iowa, that is pushing eastward, and that will impact us on Wednesday. Mostly sunny skies through the day today. Highs right around 81 inland to the upper 70s at the coast. Rain chances ramp up late Tuesday night through especially Wednesday morning. And then we're keeping a close eye on the weekend. We could be dealing with a coastal low that could bring a good soaking of rain over the weekend. Now, highs today, as I mentioned, upper 70s to low 80s. Mainly clear. We stay clear overnight with once again some patchy fog to start Tuesday morning. And by the afternoon, a warm, slight mugginess tomorrow afternoon ahead of that front. And we're mostly sunny through the day. It's late tomorrow evening. We'll see increasing clouds, and then it's a damp start through our Wednesday morning with periods of rain, and that rain could be heavy at times through the morning and into the midday time frame. Not expecting anything severe or any flash flooding. It's going to be a quick hitting system, and you see by around 12:30 some heavier pockets across the coastal areas, and then by late afternoon we begin to see clearing skies, northerly winds, and that's going to usher in some chilly air by the end of the week. On average, about an inch of rain expected on Wednesday. Could see some locally higher amounts up to 1.25 inches. Now there's the setup as we go in the late week. Cold front sinks southward, high pressure to our north, highs low to mid 60s, overnight lows 30s and 40s. Now how strong is that high pressure system and where its position is going to determine how this coastal low impacts us late in the weekend. Models want to take that system up into our area and spread some rain. Could be heavy at times late Saturday through Sunday, so we'll have to keep a close eye on that as we push through the week. 81 this afternoon, a sunny, warm day. 57 overnight under clear skies with that patchy fog. Tomorrow, that will be our last warm day over the next 7 for sure, because we have a cold front pushing through Wednesday, giving us that rain heavy at times, at least through midday. Clear out pretty nicely Thursday and Friday, a very nice day, fall-like in nature. And then that's the question mark as we go into the weekend. How does that coastal storm impact us late Saturday through Sunday? Matt.
Thank you, Chris. The Sussex County Council on Tuesday will hear another request relating to the North Star development. That's the area that we're showing you here on your screen. It's Route 9 and Beaver Dam Road in Lewis. Developers want to change about 13 acres of the 433-acre property into almost 100,000 square foot commercial space. The commercial component, it's just one part. In May, Sussex County Council approved a request to rezone part of that land for apartments. Up to 94 units are designated as affordable. The proposal for the construction of 758 homes has already gotten the green light, and some people living near this area tell us they still have some concerns.
We do need affordable housing, but we also need to have the infrastructure to get people back and forth. I mean, it goes hand in hand. I mean, first you should plan the infrastructure and then do the building.
Planning and Zoning recommended approval in 2024. This commercial plan at North Star was last in front of Sussex County Council in March. At this same meeting, County Administrator Todd Lawson is set to bring the Land Use Reform Group's recommendations and report in front of the council. The goal here is to change how the county handles development and growth. The group came up with 20 recommendations, and they include working with DelDOT to make sure there's enough road infrastructure before developments are built, charging developers a transportation impact fee in certain conservation areas, forest preservation, and a master plan zoning ordinance for large-scale development.
Can't cherry pick now. This is not a menu. This is a package of recommendations.
Council will hear the recommendations and take next steps. This all starts tomorrow at noon. And up next on Coast TV News Today, Coastal Projects Showcase. We'll show you the impacts of the most recent big storm on our beaches. Don't go anywhere. We're back after the break. In Lewis, CoastTV featured everything from drones that monitor the seafloor to hands-on lessons about water quality. This event at the University of Delaware campus in Lewis focused on all things environment and showcasing what experts are doing to protect it. One of those projects is a drone called Wingtra. It's designed to monitor coastal environments from above. It's been used for dredge work and to assess damage after big storms.
We were just out for Hurricane Erin and we got some surveys before and after, and we were able to develop some models showing sediment loss and volume differences before and after that storm.
CoastTV continues to bring thousands of people together. Again, this is in the effort to protect and preserve the environment. No Monday blues for the beach, Chris. Just great conditions on track if you're planning on spending time there today. You got a winter going on.
Oh yeah, and if you're feeling a little sluggish this Monday for various reasons, I mean, we're going to see plenty of sunshine through the day today, and it's going to be another warm day. We're going to be up near 80 degrees as we take a live look into Ocean View. Beautiful shot there as we await that sunrise. 55 degrees there, dew point 54. Winds are relatively calm. Ocean City, we're up to 71 by around noon. Wall-to-wall sunshine. Fenwick Island, 73 by around your lunchtime. Moderate risk of rip current, seas 2 to 3 feet. Looking gorgeous through Lewis and Rehoboth with the highs topping out in the mid-70s this afternoon. Mostly sunny through Cambridge and Crisfield with highs in the mid to upper 70s there. Congratulations to Autumn Chalabala, Lincoln, Delaware. You're the winner of our CoastTV weather umbrella, and you can get your forecast anytime by dialing the CoastTV First Alert weather phone. Have your 7-day forecast coming up in the next half hour.
Sounds good. All right, after the break on CoastTV News Today, council districts considered how Milton's government structure could change going forward. Also, wind debate delay. We'll tell you what's stalling any movement on the proposed offshore wind project for Delmarva. In clear space plans, the possible agreement between the company and Rehoboth Beach that could see a new facility. CoastTV News Today will be right back.
Now on CoastTV News.
Theater Alliance. The saga of ClearSpace in Rehoboth Beach takes another turn while the theater company is now likely to remain in the city. Wind lawsuit ruling, the latest action in the efforts to build or block a wind farm off of our coast.
Good Monday morning, Delmarva. Seeing some patchy fog out there this morning. Temperatures 50s and 60s. A magnificent Monday. Sunny skies, highs around 80, but a midweek soaker. I'll have details ahead.
Milton Division decision, how the makeup of the town's government could see a change.
This is CoastTV News Today.
October 6, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Lisa Weber is off today, and it is 6:30 a.m. First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono joins us now to help you prepare as you make your way out the door. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Matt. Pleasant good morning, Delmarva. Nice fiery shot here in Laurel. You can see that fog there on the horizon there, and the sunrise at 7:02 officially. We're at 51 in Laurel. Wind's pretty calm, and we've been seeing some fog in and across the area, primarily from Dorchester County through southwestern Sussex County in and across the Salisbury area. So use caution here over the next hour. We're at 55 in Milford, 60 Rehoboth Beach, 51 Dagsboro to 51 in Delmar. Winds are calm, skies are clear, and we're going to stay that way through the morning and into the afternoon, all thanks to high pressure virtually parked right over us, and we're going to see that southwesterly flow continue into the day today. Humidity levels are going to be increasing, especially as we go into Tuesday. That's all I have a cold front. It's going to bring rain into the day on Wednesday, primarily in the morning, early afternoon, and that rain could be heavy at times. Behind the front, we see some of the coolest air we have seen so far this fall, and then we're keeping a close eye on the coast. We could see a coastal storm develop late into the weekend. So once we shed that, there's some fog across parts of the area this morning. Temperatures beginning in the low to mid 50s. And yes, plenty of sunshine through the late morning and into the afternoon, and we're right on target for highs in the low 80s under sunny skies. We'll talk more about the rain, how much we could expect to see into Wednesday, coming up in that full forecast. Matt.
Okay, sounds good, Chris. Thanks for that. And with fog in play this morning, it appears from the cameras that we're tracking, a lot of it is inland, because this is a live look at Ocean City at the 45th Street Tap House, and you can see there's not a lot of fog, hardly any at all, if there is, in this shot here. So let's go to Laurel. We got the scene moments ago, a big intersection. This is what drivers in Sussex County are dealing with in that part. This is US 13 and Delaware Route 24. So they got a much different situation. They're working on inland versus what we are seeing along the coast this morning. Our top story this half hour, it is the effort in Rehoboth Beach to keep the Clear Space Theater in the city. You're looking at its current location. It's on Baltimore Avenue. A proposed partnership between the city and the theater is up for review today. This includes a new location at the current Cape Henlopen Senior Center. Clear Space would lease the land. Forget this, it's just $1 a year, $1. Rehoboth Beach would contribute $1 million to Clear Space's capital campaign and waive permit fees, and the city would get revenue through ticket fees and parking. For those who are not familiar with where the Cape Henlopen Senior Center is, here we're going to show you that location. It lies on Christian Street between the Avenue and Philadelphia Street. The Senior Center already has plans to move out of town to Hebron Road. Things to know about this new partnership comes just a few years after Clear Space tried to build a new theater on Rehoboth Avenue. You may recall it was 4 years of back and forth with the city over approvals, denials, reversals of decisions. Clear Space eventually filed a lawsuit that was eventually dropped, as were plans for the new theater on the avenue. Also happening today in Rehoboth Beach, the city is expected to review a $21.3 million bid for improvements to the wastewater treatment plant. It's in the final phase of what's been a multi-year upgrade process expected to last almost 15 years before more work is needed. Sussex County will cover 2/3 of the cost based on wastewater flows. City officials say that sewer rates may increase to cover these costs. We have an update on a story that we've been covering for several years now. It's the ongoing legal battle between the federal government and an offshore wind developer that wants to build off the Delmarva coast. The judges denied the Trump administration's motion to pause an ongoing lawsuit against alternative energy company U.S. Wind. Government arguing the current shutdown has limited its attorney's ability to respond to the suit. U.S. Wind says that the government could take advantage of this delay and undermine the court's ability to weigh in on the project's approval first. In Milton tonight, the future makeup of the town council, it could change. That's what's getting a look at. Mayor John Collier and 6 council members are expected to review a presentation on creating council districts. Most southern Delaware communities, if you live there, you know that they don't have this type of structure. Milford is an exception to this. They have 4 wards. A vote on new districts could happen at the 6:30 p.m. Milton Town Council meeting. New this morning, the fall season's a great time of year to experience the great outdoors. And First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihey shows us the McKay Preserve and why now is the time for bird watching.
As the weather cools down, bird migration begins. The McKay Preserve outside of Milton is where many bird watchers go to see the shorebirds and songbirds alike move to their next destination.
McKay Preserve is a local birding hotspot and a great place to come observe fall migration. We have a high diversity of bird species that utilize this preserve because we have a lot of different habitat types occurring here.
The preserve says that over 100 bird species have been observed along its 143 acres.
We have mature upland forest. We also have mature bottomland forest. We have meadow habitat, early successional habitat, and the preserve also borders the Broadkill River, which makes this a great stopover place for birds. We get tons of herons and egrets, different ducks and geese are always utilizing this area. Warblers in the summer, especially prothonotary warblers, love to be along the edges of the scrubby Broadkill.
Approximately 1 mile of the Broadkill River borders the preserve, making it a popular hotspot for canoers and kayakers too. The only time the Conservancy is closed to the public is during deer hunting season on certain days. In Milton, I'm Bob Trihey, CoastTV News.
Checklist of birds that are seen at the preserve is available right now in the article at coasttv.com. Slowing down in Selbyville. Town Council's meeting today to discuss a number of issues, and one of those is speed limits. According to the agenda, the town will look at considering setting the speed limit for all developments within town limits, and this is taking place tonight at 6 at the Selbyville Town Hall. Tomorrow marks 2 years since the war in Gaza began. Analysts say an end could be within reach as ceasefire talks begin in Egypt today. Negotiators are discussing President Trump's 20-point roadmap for peace. It calls for an immediate end to the war and then gives Hamas 72 hours to release all Israeli hostages. After that, it has Israel set to free 250 prisoners and 1,700 detainees. The plan also involves Israel's eventual withdrawal from Gaza. Now, for the first time, Israeli leaders are publicly agreeing to this idea.
There's a lot of will on every party to try and get a deal this week.
Pressure to end the conflict, it is growing after Israel tried to assassinate a Hamas ceasefire delegation in Qatar. And we still have a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Coming up, wagging for water. Now Dewey Beach is helping its smaller dogs get the hydration they need. And also, Bo beats the Birds. The second half collapse to Denver's Bo Nix in the Eagles' first loss of the season. And Walk for Alzheimer's Advocacy will tell you how the cause hits close to home for people on Delmarva. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
Hope your Monday morning is off to a fantastic start, Delmarva, as we take a live look into Lewis. Pleasant start there. Haven't seen much in the way of fog along the coast this morning. Most of it has been inland. 53 there, and you could see that fog getting a bit better. We were down at 0 visibility just a half an hour ago into Cambridge. We're back up to a mile there. 3/4 of a mile visibility through Georgetown and Salisbury. So continue to use caution here over the next hour. We're at 55 in Milton, 53 Georgetown, 52 Longneck, and 58 in Rehoboth Beach. It was an absolutely gorgeous weekend. We had temperatures at highs around 78 on Saturday, and we were at 79 on Sunday, still under the influence of high pressure, and that will continue to be the play at least Tuesday, and then that high will break down as a cold front pushes in Wednesday. Wall-to-wall sunshine through the day today, highs reaching the upper 70s to low 80s. An absolutely gorgeous start to the week, but we will talk about changes midweek as a cold front approaches. That will bring rain chances back to the area. We'll talk more about that here in a couple minutes. Matt.
All right, Chris. More than 430 people filled Grove Park and Rehoboth Beach Saturday morning for the Walk to End Alzheimer's, raising over $148,000 to support research, care, and advocacy. Among the hundreds who walked through Grove Park was Stephanie McDonough. She was on her 23rd walk. She lost both her husband and mother-in-law to Alzheimer's and says this walk is a way to keep fighting.
To me, it's wonderful to see this because people are fighting, every day, this devastating disease. So this gives us hope, and it gives us the money to continue the research that someday, like your children and I have great-grandchildren now, they will not have to fight this disease.
The push for support isn't over. On November 8th, there's another walk. This one's in Salisbury City Park. It starts at 10:30. There's a check-in at 9. Entering Week 5, the Eagles were only one of 2 teams left in the NFL with a perfect record and the only one in the NFC. The Birds were home on Sunday at the field in South Philly, taking on the Denver Broncos, who started the day with a 2-2 record. Midway through the second quarter, Jalen Hurts rolls, fires, hits Dallas Goedert for the touchdown, and the Eagles take a 10-3 lead. We go to the third. Hurts goes deep, 46 yards, Saquon Barkley. And all is right for the Birds, leading 17-3, but here come the Broncos. Midway in the fourth, Bo Nix to Evan Engram, catches it, makes a few moves into the end zone. The Eagles only up 1 in Denver. They're going for 2 here. And they go to Troy Franklin. He gets into the end zone for the conversion. The Broncos take the lead. They would add a field goal. Here's the Eagles' last chance. Hurts' pass is batted away in the end zone. That's the first loss of the season for the Eagles. 21-17 the final. It puts the Birds at 4-1. And they have a Thursday night game. That's this week, just a couple of days, coming up at the Giants. In Los Angeles, Jaden Daniels was back at QB1 for Washington, and they scored 27 unanswered points in defeating the Chargers 27-10. The Burgundy and Gold moved to 3-2 on the season, and they return home a week from tonight to take on the Bears. No Lamar Jackson for the Ravens. Plenty of C.J. Stroud for the Texans. He threw 4 touchdown passes at the stadium and a rout over the Ravens. That 44-10 loss puts the Ravens at 1-4 on the season, and they are fading fast in the AFC North. Coming up tonight on DSN, your game of the night, it's at 5:30. Indian River is hosting Salisbury Christian in girls volleyball, and then you can catch the final score at 10:30. On DSN Plus, you get the volleyball game. You also get at 4 Sussex Central taking on Bennett in field hockey. 5:30 Pocomoke and Crisfield go at it in boys soccer. Also at that time, also in boys soccer, Delmar faces Cesar Rodney. If you had a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. Sign up now for free at coasttv.com/sign up and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday. And here's a look at what you can look forward to this afternoon on Coast Life.
Hope you had a great weekend, but we got to get through a Monday, and a little bit of Coast Life might make your Monday a little bit brighter. If you join us at 4, here's what's in store for you. It is a Monday, so of course we've got our joke jar on deck. Also, we hope you're in the mood for a little bit of music, some classical music, and where you can see more. We also are going to be chatting with our friends, Shelville, for the iconic Christmas Village, but they also have plenty going on for the month of October. We got that too. All of that and more is coming your way today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you then.
All of us have waken up to some fog this morning, but that will be burning off in the next hour or so. Plenty of sunshine through the morning. We're up to 75 by around lunchtime, on our way to highs around 80 degrees. And we'll have one more warm day before some changes midweek. We'll talk all about it coming up in the full 70 forecast right after the break.
We are hitting 6:49 on this Monday morning, and here is our live look high above Laurel. You can see some of the fog that we've been talking about all morning. And for those of you who are watching who are inland, Chris, it sounds like you still have to deal with a little bit more fog as we make our way this morning.
Yeah, that's right. About sunrise coming up at around 7:02, so that'll kind of wear off through about the 8 o'clock hour, but we're going to see plenty of sunshine through the morning and day today. It's going to be another beautiful day as we carry that momentum from the weekend into the new week. Down about a quarter-mile there visibility there in Georgetown. We're up to a mile in Cambridge. That's kind of the sector we've seen the fog this morning. Dorchester County through southwestern portions of Sussex County. You can see that fog there in Laurel. Beautiful shot there. The sun rising, 52 degrees. Winds are calm. Temperatures not too bad to start with. 52 Long Neck, 55 in Milton, 52 Bridgeville, 61 Rehoboth to 63 in Ocean City. Winds are calm, skies are clear, and it's going to stay that way. We are going to see a touch more of humidity today through Tuesday, and that's all ahead of a cold front. Look behind the front. Dew points crash once again. It's going to be very cool by the end of the week. Still under the influence of high pressure, pretty quiet through much of the East Coast. There's that high pressure system virtually right over the Delmarva Peninsula. This is our cold front that we're tracking for late Tuesday into Wednesday. So a sunny, warm day, 80 Lewis, 81 Georgetown. We'll see high 78 in Easton, high of 80 in Salisbury to 80 in Berlin. As we take a look at rain chances over the next 7 days, they ramp up Wednesday, and then you see over the weekend could be a bit unsettled as we deal with a coastal low. So sunshine through the afternoon, a beautiful day, another pleasant evening. Could wake up to some patchy fog tomorrow morning as well, but tomorrow afternoon we're up to near 80 once again ahead of that front. Clouds increase tomorrow evening through tomorrow night, and then we wake up Wednesday morning with some spotty showers, some pockets of rain, and that rain could be heavy at times as we push late in the morning into the afternoon. Rumble of thunder possible there. Not expecting anything severe, any flash flooding. This is going to be a quick hitting rain because by the afternoon and into the evening that rain subsides. We're looking at a general 1 inch of rain as we go into Wednesday. Behind it, some of the coolest air we've seen so far this fall. High pressure to the north, virtually over New York, and that's going to funnel in that cool, dry air. It's going to be a battle, though, as we go into the weekend. Models showing a storm developing off the Carolinas as we go late Saturday into Sunday, and that may track right into our area over the course of Sunday. Well, that high winds out remains to be seen. We'll continue to track it through the week. 81 degrees today, a sunny, warm day. We're at 57 overnight under clear skies with some patchy fog. 81 on Tuesday. That was our last warmest day of the week. We're up to 70 on Wednesday with rain, especially in the morning through the early part of the afternoon. Behind it, we cool down big time. 65 Thursday, mostly sunny skies. We're up to 67 on Friday. Staying dry at least through early Saturday, and then watching that potential of that coastal low late Saturday through Sunday. Matt.
Thank you, Chris. Dewey is going to the dogs, and this isn't a good way. Hear me out on this one. The town says it's realized its dog water fountain was just a little too small for small dogs, so what they did, the maintenance supervisor created a step stool so all the dogs can hydrate. Pretty cool there. All right, 6:51 right now. Time to check in with our coastal pet of the day. And today's coastal pet is a rescue who is very loved by his new forever family. On your screen, that's Odin. Odin is blind, but that doesn't let him from seeing or getting anything that he wants to do. His family says he's very loving, likes pup cups, and enjoys riding in his wagon. Odin and his family live in Salisbury. And we want to see more of your pets. Send us photos. Tell us what makes them special. On your screen at the top center is a QR code. If you scan that, you can get your friends to us and then watch weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature. About to hit 6:55 a.m. and time for things you need to know before you go. The Clear Space Theater in Rehoboth Beach are working on a deal that keeps the company in the city. This is at the current location on Baltimore Avenue. A proposed partnership between the city and the theater is set to be discussed today. That includes the new location at the current Cape Henlopen Senior Center. Under the proposal, Clear Space would lease that land for just $1 a year. Ocean City could move forward with several projects after a second reading of an ordinance tonight that includes a 14th Street generator for the water department and fleet and garage renovations. Also a boardwalk sign. Second reading of the ordinance is scheduled for the mayor and council meeting at 6 with general obligation municipal purpose bonds not to exceed $52 million. In Milton tonight, the future makeup of the town council could change. That's what's getting a look at. Mayor John Collier and the 6 council members are expected to review a presentation on creating town council districts. Most southern Delaware communities do not have that type of structure. Milford is an exception. They have 4 wards, and a vote on new districts could happen at the 6:30 p.m. Milton Town Council meeting. Country Calling Music Festival brought locals and tourists alike to the beach to hear some country music all weekend long. Headliners included Carrie Underwood, Luke Bryan, and Luke Combs. The event was expected to generate around $150 million for the town. Right now it is 6:56. We got a quick look at your forecast before you head out the door.
Yeah, you know, we've been dealing with some of that patchy fog across the area this morning, but it's going to be a gorgeous day. We're going to see plenty of sunshine through the morning. Temperatures once again reaching the upper 70s to right around 80 degrees this afternoon. Lunchtime we're at 75, and then there's that temperature right around 80 degrees with wall-to-wall sunshine as this beautiful stretch of weather continues. We have one more warm day Tuesday. 81. See clouds increase late in the day through the evening. We stay dry for most of the day. Showers arrive early Wednesday morning, and that rain could be heavy at times late Wednesday through Wednesday afternoon, but it's a quick hitting system because by Wednesday evening, dinner time, that rain should be out of here. But we see some of the coolest air mass we've seen so far this fall. Check out these highs. Mid-60s by Thursday, and we could wake up to some morning lows in the low to mid-40s by Friday. Then we stay pretty dry at least through Saturday, and then we are watching the threat of a potential coastal low late Saturday through Sunday that could give us a good soaking of rain into early next week.
Okay, thanks, Chris, and thank you for joining us here on Coast TV News Today. The Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m., and then we'll be right back here with Coast TV News midday. 11 a.m. is that start time, so stick with us for that. And for even more news and coverage you can count on, download our Coast TV News and weather apps. Have a great Monday morning, everybody.